having me.
So, Paula, can you start by telling us what marketplaces you sell on and what the 2 most successful ones for you have been?
Well, right now I sell on Poshmark majority. That is where I started at. I do sell on, I just started dabbling in Mercari, Tradesy, and eBay. eBay is the one that I really want to start to, get on, but it's so intimidating. So I've just started to list a few things here and there.
So what products and brands have been your best sellers so far?
Product, shoes, without a doubt. I love shoes, so selling shoes is my favorite thing. They're easy to photograph, easy to list, easy to get ready, clean. It's just and there's just so many different types. People don't really care that shoes are pre-loved, pre-owned, used, whatever you call it. They buy the shoes. So that is my biggest seller. As far as brand, it would be my plus size brands. Torrid and Lane Bryant are my biggest clothes sellers. They sell quite a bit for me, which I'm happy for. I'm able to give plus size women an option of not having to spend $75, $80 for a pair of jeans, and they can get them from my closet for a fraction of the price. So that I do love doing. So my plus sizes are my biggest sellers. I can buy a pair of shoes for $5 and I can, resell them for $30. So that's a low enough price point for shoes that I'm going to make a profit. One thing that I have learned since I've been reselling is that everything that is low priced doesn't mean that it's going to sell. So that was one of my biggest lessons that I've learned since reselling. Just because a shirt is 99 cents, it doesn't mean that you're going to flip it for, $20. Because you're just buying it off of the 99 cents. You're not looking at the brand. You're just like, oh, I can make a profit. You probably could make a profit, but it's going to sit in your closet for a long time. So
true.
That was one of my biggest lessons, because I just had so much stuff that wouldn't move because I just bought it because it was, cheaply priced. So that I'm glad I learned that lesson fairly quick, because, inventory starts to build up quite a bit. I list like every day, at least 3 to 5 items a day on Poshmark. So I take all my photos and measurements on Sunday. That's like my get up early, 6 a.m. and I'm doing it until at least 6 to 8 hours. So I have items to list all week. So that's just my routine. So I know that I always have something to put up, quickly.
That is you've said a lot of genius things, but if anybody takes one thing from this, and I'm taking this from you too, as wow, this is my inspiration. If you can really get methodical, like Paula is, about every day I list something, and you have multiple items that you list a day, you will go crazy in these in these algorithms, right? They reward you when you do day after day after day. You will get new buyers, you will get sales. So that's what makes you a super seller. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
How does List Perfectly help you grow your business?
Well, now that I'm starting to branch out into different platforms, it definitely is a time saver. I know it's going to be a great tool for me when I really start to, jump into eBay. So I don't have to, take the time to list here and then list there. So I'm super excited that I have List Perfectly to assist me in that segue going into eBay. So yeah, it's definitely going to, time is of the essence. Time is so valuable when you're a reseller. So that is going to save me so much time when it comes to listing on the multiple platforms. If you want to grow, you want to check out all these different platforms. There's so many of them out there. But again, you're like, oh, the time I have to, it's redundant. Mm-hmm. List Perfectly is the perfect tool to assist you with, making that transition so much easier. Once you start to really grow with inventory and you have over 100 pieces, even 75, it becomes a task to find something that you've sold and you don't have a system at all. You're just keeping it in a bin and, not numbered, and you're just, it's the worst, believe me. So, I I do have an inventory system now. It is so much easier now to have a spreadsheet. Everything is numbered. It's prepackaged. So I got to pull it and ship it. So I would definitely advise everyone to figure out a good inventory system. Everybody, people, have different ones. I, use numbers, spreadsheets. They store in bins, but it will save you so much of a headache if you just do it now rather than later. Don't be like me, because right now I still have stuff, like my living room looks like a warehouse sometimes, because I have right now I have bags in the middle of my floor.
So there are just going to be days that are not there. And that's why having those other platforms is so key.
So important. Yeah, it definitely, I've learned that okay, Poshmark is great. It works. But on the days that it's, it's not really pumping out any sales, I can go over to Mercari and, boom, there's a sale. So yeah, once you get comfortable enough to branch out, I'm not saying go and be like, oh, let me get on all these platforms. You have to be comfortable, get comfortable with one platform first, and then be like, okay, let me take baby steps. Because you don't want to just jump into something and then you're like, what am I doing? So reselling is a learning game. You just learn as you go, and, follow people who are good on Instagram. I follow great resellers who teach me a lot. Simply Chick Thrift, I love her. She has really taught me a lot about how to expand my business, marketing. She has a great page of just so much information. Jess Loves Pizza.
Jess Loves Pizza kills it.
Yes, she is great. She has how to grow your IG. Have challenges that I've been in. So I love to follow them because they always are helping me with my business by just showing how, just giving me that knowledge. So if you're new, get on Instagram, get the hashtag reseller community, Poshmark, follow, people, and then you'll gravitate. Always going to learn something every day when you're in reselling.
Excited to dive in, and let's just start with what marketplaces you sell on and what are your two favorites where you've seen the most success.
Okay, so I started off on Poshmark and Mercari, and they're still my two best platforms, but I've also expanded to Tradesy, Depop, eBay, and I sell a little bit of on Instagram platform, but yeah.
I think ThreadUp is more like a service than a platform, or maybe like a consignment, right?
Right.
So that's cool. That's awesome. But no, seriously, that's very impressive. So many platforms. Okay, so what is your best selling category or style or brand? Where are we seeing the money come in?
Okay, so for me personally, the best selling brand by far has been Torrid for me. Literally, anything I pick up from Torrid, it almost always gets a ton of attention as soon as it's posted. And it's not always huge flips, but it's a very reliable flip for me. So that's my favorite brand, and I also love to shop Torrid, so that's my baby. And then I also really love Lulu's dresses tend to do really well, especially bridesmaids dresses.
Not to be confused with Lululemon. This is its own brand, Lulu's. Yeah,
Lulu's dresses. And Kate Spade bags really are super reliable as well. In terms of categories, I would say shoes and bags. Shoes and dresses, and bags are a close third.
What's been your experience? What's been the biggest benefit to you?
So List Perfectly has literally, I think, been a game changer for pretty much any reseller that uses List Perfectly. I don't know anybody who's had a bad experience with List Perfectly. And so for me at least, if it wasn't for List Perfectly, I definitely would not be on these other platforms. I would just be sticking to Poshmark and Mercari. And I remember even when I was on Posh and Mercari, it was such a hassle to individually upload an item to two platforms and then deleting them, and it was just being part-time, because I was a part-time student at the time that I started reselling. I just didn't have time for other platforms, and I wanted to tap into them. I wanted to do eBay, I wanted to try out Tradesy, but I just did not have the in seconds. So I think the success of my business, what it is today, is largely in part largely due to like, you know, Liz Perfectly. Like it's been really great.
Ah, that makes me so happy. I'm like, my job helps people. I'm so happy. No, for real, that is so awesome. I'm so glad to hear it. And you know, there are slow days on Poshmark. That's just how it goes. There's 5 million sellers, so you have to diversify if you want to get that steady stream of income.
So there's actually two things. So one thing is I really wish I wasn't so focused on brand as much as styles. So for me, it was a situation where like anytime I would find something that I thought was like even remotely popular of like a brand, that's like all I fixated on was like just the brand. And so like I'd buy this thing that was like a great brand and I'd like list it and it'd like not get much attention or it wouldn't sell. And it's literally because like just kind of out of style. So I think trend is like super important to pay attention to. The second thing that I knew was I wish I tapped into the plus size market a little bit more heavily. I feel like lately I've been like really intentional about making sure that my closet is size inclusive. Like I'm plus size myself, right? And so I think one of the most disappointing things is like if I see like a fellow reseller like launching a sale and like I really would love to like support them and shop their sale and like I'll go to their closet and sort by plus size and they'll have like one or two plus size items and it's just like really disappointing. And so like a shocking statistic that I learned like once I started reselling was almost 70% of US women are a size 14 or higher. And so it's a huge disservice to your business if you don't have a ton of plus size items. And I think a lot of straight size people might be like a little intimidated about like what plus size brands are trending or you know, like what styles plus size women like to shop. And I would just say like experiment with like as many brands as you can. Don't be afraid of getting mall brands because even plus size mall brands, because of like the fat tax, like even fast fashion plus size is expensive.
So you guys, fat tax, just for anybody like listening, it's just basically like charging more money for plus size garments. So right. Like basically what she's saying is because we have to go, plus size women go into the mall and they have to pay more, they're really, really keen on buying resale of the mall brands.
Mm-hmm. In the beginning, because like once I like created my Instagram and I like tried to dig into like different like successful poshers and seeing like what brands they were selling, I was like so focused in on like finding like Reformation and like Everlane and like the trendy like brands, and like I didn't really pay attention to like the plus size items that I was passing up. Like I was passing up so much in the beginning, so much Torrid, Lane Bryant, Old Navy plus size, because I was like, who's gonna buy Old Navy resale? And like surprisingly, if you find like a really cute Old Navy item, it might not be a huge flip, but like I said, it's a really reliable flip. And most importantly, like you're making your closet size inclusive, which is super important.
And 70%, like you said, of women right. in the US are over a size 14. That is,
yeah,
like we're talking about the majority of shoppers.
Yeah, and you make plus size items more accessible, which is like also like really important to me.
You know, like I thought that I heard this message. Like I know like this is a super seller session. There's other people here that are learning, but like I really needed to hear that about brands personally. So thank you so much for that. And like I also never really thought about the plus size statistic because I knew it of 70% of women being 14, size 14 or above. And like I give all these tips all the time. Resellers are asking me, Alex, what do I do to grow my business? And I've never given that as a tip. And it's like,
yeah,
yo, that's like the number one way to grow your business too.
Yeah, I promise like once you add more plus size items, like your sales will like definitely like expand as well.